Okay, hi everybody. Happy Monday. So today I wanted to start by just asking, I guess, Bertrand, Preetam, when he gets online, Pranamika, to show us how their projects are going with a little demo. I know you've all been working, and it sounds like you've all had some good results. So I'd like to just really go through that in some detail, and then we can talk about some other stuff, like the voluntary carbon offset project later. So who would like to go first? I know right now we have Pranamika and Bertrand on the line.
Hi, Sai.
Hi.
Unfortunately, I'm having some difficulty this morning reproducing the demo.
Oh no.
My Docker, there's something's broken. I fixed it earlier, and now I can't get it running again. I could run you through the code that I was working on just to show you what I was doing, but the demo itself is not working.
Okay. Yes, please at least, yes, then show us what you have, and and show us what the error is. Maybe we could help you with the Docker setup as well.
Yes. Actually, I think what happened is I was trying to implement I was trying to reproduce what I'd done within the utility emissions channel. So trying to use an offline private key to transaction. So I got the network up and running, but then ran into an error. And then when I tried to go back to the other project, the other Docker container that I was running using the Fabric test network, it seems that something broke. But here, let me share my screen and I'll show you what I was doing. It's still a little patchy, and you guys can tell me if there are any gaps in the method. 1 second, share screen. Working.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we can help debug it too. The group's done that for me in the past.
No, sorry. Just having a trouble with the share screen now. 1 second. Pardon me. Let's see if I can get desktop. Really sorry about this. For some reason my Zoom is giving a bunch of errors on the share screen. 1 second.
Okay. Or does someone else want to go first while you work through
that? Yeah, let me fix through it. If someone else has somewhere to start. Sorry about that, guys.
No problem. Pranamika or Preetam, would either of you like to go and show us what you're working?
Yeah, sure, I can go first.
Okay, great. So yeah, I saw you had gotten the test to run outside of the Docker container, and
yes, right.
okay.
So for that, I generated a new script. The server runs outside the API container, and I would be running that script to run the server.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can I see the code again? So you
Sure.
are, okay, so you're reinstalling all the GNOME modules, right?
Yeah.
And then why are you doing that? I'm just curious.
Okay, so I was just repeating what's done in the Docker file so that it starts successfully
Okay.
outside the container. So here in this Docker file, I can see these steps are done. You can install and all. And this first thing, like removing node modules and updating, I did it to fix one error I was getting in the process and using Stack Overflow. So yeah, this is the solution to that. And this is all just done as in Docker file.
Okay.
And the scripts run.
Okay. Okay. So then it'll install. And did you have to modify the tests? Like the start.sh?
No. Actually, run test we won't be using if we are using this script. So automatically, if you tell me, I would just remove this run test out of here. But if someone else want this, like to run inside API container, they can use that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And
okay.
just need, yeah, please go ahead.
No, just looking at this. Okay. Surprised you need to do all this, but I mean, if that's what it took to fix things. But this doesn't actually run the test. This just starts the REST API server, right?
Yes, and we just, sorry, Steve. We just need to run the mocha command. I have done here once.
Okay.
This, you just need to run this to run the test after the REST server starts. But I get this error, as I said, on the third one, which is because of that discovery service error that I mentioned. I checked the whole Stack Overflow, the whole, but I haven't been able to fix that. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and what does the error look like?
We get, just a second.
So, Sai, as I can see, the error is right there. It says cannot read property includes of undefined, and which some array
Yeah.
value. Yeah.
Actually, it gets right as I have mentioned in the test, but due to that, when the server starts, you can see that error there, but I'm just having hanging out. I can show you that discovery service results error. And when you run this with Docker API container inside, this error you won't see. This only happens when you run it outside the API container. So I think, yeah, I tried disabling the discovery service, but that didn't help.
What was the error for discovery services? I think you need to resolve there. I think there will be a DNS resolve error.
It was like discovery service has failed to return results, kind of thing.
Can we see, like, because that's a different error than what I'm seeing on screen.
Actually, it's not well to record the on the ledger. Can you see the line number 74 in the test.js?
Yeah, sure. But I'm not sure if we have sorry for that. Not able to.
So can you show us where you are right now? I guess you were trying to, so you have one screen where you were starting all the different node services, right?
Which one?
You had one screen where you were starting all the node services, right?
Right. But node services starting now. But I don't know, it's stuck there. I'm not able to click it. Maybe I can restart the laptop. Maybe if someone wants to show their work
Okay.
to them,
Sure.
it would just take me 1 minute.
Okay. Pritam, do you want to go next?
Okay.
Totally no pressure, guys. This is what this call is for. I mean, it's a peer programming call. So if something's not working, this is your chance to ask questions. It's not, you're not supposed to show us stuff that all works, and so don't feel bad at all.
Yeah, so actually I was currently I was testing with Rapstone and Gorian Network. So I think this is a great time to show those things.
Okay.
Actually, I was doing that thing only.
Okay. Well, can you show us what the
Sure.
refactoring is? You had talked a little bit about it with Peter and Cactus, but I think for the rest of us, just to see Cactus for the first time and how this works.
Okay.
If you could show us the code, that would be helpful.
Yeah. Okay, sure. I'm unable to share my screen.
Okay. So
To
you're
stop
not,
sharing your screen?
You cannot share your screen, Pritam?
Yeah, it's giving me the error like someone is sharing already.
Okay. Pranamika, can you stop sharing? Let's see. Okay, so I will fix that for you. Stop sharing. Okay, so I think if I share my screen briefly, that will stop that. Why don't you try sharing next?
Okay. So I don't have a slide representation of what Cactus is. I'll tell you where I'm using this in our project, carbon accounting. So
okay.
So the one endpoint, so which was once a carbon record is audited, then we need to mint a token carbon token on Ethereum. So
Right.
this is a function. Like what is does is that it fetches record from Fabric and then mint a token on Ethereum, then again update the emission record on Fabric. So
Okay.
here, this is a perfect example where we are. I'm using a Cactus. So actually, on Friday, I showed you testing on a local Ethereum network. So today I have connected with the Rapstone using Infura. So I'll test one thing. So I was noting these times, how much time it took to complete all the functions. So I'll do one more transaction. Firstly, auditor will have to record an emission. So I'm doing that thing. So this endpoint that only talks to Fabric to store the carbon emission.
Yes.
Next, next API is like it will talk to both Ethereum and Fabric. So I want this emission record to be audited and a token to be minted. So at the same time, I'll show where contract is installed. So this is a contract on Rupstone Net. So I think let's see how much time it will take to make the call to the Fabric and Ethereum both.
Okay. Yeah, Rupstone is the slowest one, right?
Yeah. So I was thinking, I was also noting those times, and it was sometime it might get above 1 minute. If we, yeah, this got 35 seconds.
Right. Okay.
So it minted that token, yeah, like, and also I didn't use the block validation. Like, I accepted the Ethereum transaction after a 0th block only. There was no confirmation. So this needs to be done in, there is a change that in Cactus, which I think I'll talk to Peter. Oh, this is a token. Yeah, you see only 2 validation is there, but we can configure that thing to see 5 or 6 of block we need
before returning success. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this was on Rapstone. Should I show on Gorin this network also? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was also facing one that error. So I'll talk about that later. Again, I'll have to record an emission for that.
Oh my, I'm seeing all sorts of stuff we should add to the test.
Yeah, this error is not from, it is token has been minted, but this error is because the configuration that you gave me, there the contract was installed, which was of a previous version. So when I receive a event from Ethereum, I decode that event. So this is a error from decoding those events. So this is not an issue. This has to do with this ABI, which I'm
Okay. Yeah. We need to probably deploy, or you need to deploy an updated version of the contract on Corley. The document I shared might have some old information in there. So, okay.
That had a.
So.
And also.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so the error Pranamika was talking about, like discovery error, I think I also got that error when I was running outside server outside the Docker. So to fix that, I was talking about this fixing the DNS error.
Okay, so that needs to be pasted. Pranamika, you can try this.
Yeah, actually, the problem.
Yes.
So
just put
the
it into
is,
these into your etc. host.
Yeah, I'll send this in the chat.
Okay.
And also, I was thinking like this is a REST API, and for currently we are using only Ethereum as a proper network, and Fabric is running on my local. So when we use both on a remote machine, we might get this time at more than 1 minute. So I think
Yes.
use this as this endpoint should be a WebSocket endpoint.
Okay. Okay, so WebSocket endpoint. Okay, I agree. So can you show us the code? I mean, originally there was this router utility emissions contract, invoke emissions contract, right? Like this was in the, but yeah, so originally it was inside you, it was that, right? The invoke, ivoke emissions contract.
Yeah.
That's where it was running, but now you've moved it to the carbon accounting.ts, right?
Yeah, so I did that because to make it more structured, like I've commented this thing, and when there is an endpoint which needs to talk to both Ethereum and Fabric, so then I have placed every endpoint in this folder.
Okay.
It is easy for me and for others to follow along.
Okay. So then this is the endpoint for Fabric and Ethereum, and then this will be, okay.
So here I'm fetching from the Fabric.
Just like we're currently doing in that REST API, right? Admittedly crude.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is for invoking issue to Ethereum.
Okay. So how is Cactus involved here? Because this has, originally we were using the Web3 modal, I think, to call Ethereum.
Yeah. So till now, I'm able, what you are understanding, I have the same understanding of the Fabric, like it is a wrapper around those Fabric SDK and Web3. So, but there, I think there is more to it. So currently I'm using Cactus as a wrapper thing only. So the actual code where it actually interact with the Ethereum and Fabric is here. Like this is a
okay, get emission status. This is the Fabric client, right? Okay.
Yeah, this is provided. This is a wrapper around Fabric network SDK provided by Cactus.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So, Pritham, so this Fabric client is some kind of NPM module from the Cactus, or what is it?
It's a NPM module. So I have used these three.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So Peter called it XDI, but it works with Ropsten and Goerli. It basically works with any Ethereum network, right? It doesn't just work with XDI. Okay. Yeah. I think that's my fault. Okay. And then, okay, so can you go back one step? So you're showing us the wrapper for Fabric and
Okay. I'll show you how Cactus is providing this Fabric client. So, yeah. Okay, so this is when I create this class, internally Cactus does is it calls the Fabric uses the Fabric network client and passes the connection profile and all this thing. So they have this like you can give a SSH configuration if you want the chain code to be installed on the peers.
Okay.
And also they provide for each this plugins and packages, they provide a Prometheus exporter for this. This will give that how many transaction has occurred with Fabric or with Ethereum.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
And similarly, there is for Web3 wrapper, this thing.
ETH client. Okay. So ETH node URL. Okay. Plugin registry. Okay. So this is where the Ethereum client is, and then the contract, net emissions token contract is down here, right? Okay. So this is all in the config file, right? Ledger config is some configuration file of yours or configuration setup?
Yeah, it's
and Pritham, so that Web3 ETH wrapper is specific to projects, means like XDAI, Ropsten, or is common for all the Ethereum projects?
XDAI can be used for any Ethereum client.
Okay. Wonder why we should ask. Yeah, we should ask Peter. Maybe it should just be renamed Ethereum.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so when you look at the code, I think they uses this Web3 thing.
Okay. Okay.
Config for ledgers, there are, so this is for reading the configuration from environment variables.
Okay.
So it reads from the environment and checks that everything is okay or not.
Okay. Okay.
One thing is, I think better is like we get this keychain plugin. Currently, we are using this in memory, which is not good. But once we start using that HashiCorp Vault, then we will start seeing the use case of Cactus here.
Okay. So basically, it should be okay. So I'll take a look at this code later, and I'll probably have some more questions. But so basically, what you did is you created a new set of routers, right, under the routers directory, and then okay, like that's where the
So this is for registering users with Fabric CA.
Right. Okay. So we can essentially get rid of the utility emissions channel, those old routers, and just replace this because you've refactored it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then let's see, you have, okay. And then from here, you're calling the Cactus routers in the util directory, like the Cactus plugin. You made a Cactus plugin for Fabric and a Cactus plugin for Ethereum, right? And these routers are basically calling those plugins.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that looks good. And then the next step is you want to change it to WebSocket endpoints, and you want to change.
Yeah.
You want to
Only
use
for this endpoint.
Okay, the Fabric endpoint.
When we interact with two ledger, because it's take too much time. If
Yes.
we use a website, so for putting the client on the hold for 1 minute is like is not good for UX also.
Okay, and then let's see. So that makes sense. Okay, I'll have to look. Is everything you have committed?
Yeah, this thing is you merge to the my branch. Means,
Yes.
Mentorship cactus.
Okay, yes, that's right. So I'll take a look at that later.
Okay.
Great, okay. So let's see. Anybody else want to go?
So, Pritham, I have a
Go
question
ahead if you have
regarding
any questions.
Pritham, sorry. So, Pritham,
Please,
regarding
please.
the WebSocket implementation, so you're going to use that same Fabric SDK or any other SDK? Because in the past, I tried, even I used that WebSocket implementation with the Fabric SDK, but that was very early in Fabric, maybe 0.6 version. So, do you code reference or you will have any idea how you're going to implement it?
What I was thinking, like it has a 3 main command, like fetching from Fabric, minting, and again updating the Fabric. I was thinking that these 3 main function can be broken down and converted into a request.
Okay.
I was not. I will not directly use a Fabric SDK for making a WebSocket request to a Fabric. I think that is not supported.
So I think earlier it was supported even before the Fabric 1.0. Even I used one that time. So the question, like you will not going to use the complete Fabric SDK. You will implement this function as a WebSocket, right? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, for WebSocket, I think I need to talk to Peter also. Like, will this be a good approach, or is there a better one? Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So let me take a look at what you have. Okay, this looks pretty nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Pritham. It's nice.
So, okay, and then how's Bertrand doing?
Yeah, hi guys.
Did you get any of your errors fixed up?
I think I got the original case on the Fabric test network running, so I can just show you guys that working, and then maybe show you quickly the error if I can get the Docker container rolled up for the utility of Dns network. So yeah, let me share the screen. All right, this seems to be working. So I'm not very familiar with Zoom.
Okay.
Screen.
There should be a button at the
Yeah,
bottom.
let me just share my desktop for now.
Yeah. Okay.
But all you guys see is my desktop, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let me just take everything off of the, and I'll bring it to the desktop so you can see it. This is what I want. Okay. Yes. So what we have here, yeah. So this is just one of the asset transfer basic from the Fabric testnet. So just to show you what I was doing. Yeah, so within the test, this test network, they have this CO utility to register and admit and a user. So basically what I did was follow this tutorial that some of the mentors had shared me. Just get the screen down. Yeah, so working with an offline private key. So the first thing that I went about doing was generating, enrolling with my own certificate, CSR certificate. Yeah, so what I've done here in this util, which, you know, we got something similar running in the utility admissions channel, was at the enrollment stage for the user. So we have registered and enrolled user, create secrets, and then, yeah. So here, when we're enrolling the this user ID, I'm actually passing in my own certificate generated. Yeah, I've generated as using an elliptical curve, so the same one, I guess, that the Ethereum network uses. And I'm not sure, maybe the Fabric network uses as well. Yeah, so that gets registered. So now, yeah, so here in the app for this asset transfer basic, pass in your user, and then, yeah, so we to register and enroll the user, and then we call we want to call some functions. In this case, what I've done, there's this init ledger function within the smart contract. I want to call it, rather than using the standard gateway protocols, use this offline sign function that I've created. And basically what this will use is it will send a signature for this offline CSR I've generated to sign this function. So first thing I'll show you right now, so the CSR was generated within a user ID called app user. If I use a different app username, I'll show you, if I try and run the script, it's going to give me an error, because let me get the terminal up and running, because it's the certificate was generated with another user ID, just to show you that we have generated the certificate with this specific user ID. So where's the yeah, here. Yeah, so I go to run the app. Yeah, and it'll give me this error. It must equal the enrollment ID name. So if I fix that, then I should get the right.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah. So here you can see, as we expect, it rolls the admin, and we have the user, the enrolled user, this app user ID, but using this CSR that I've generated offline with my own private key. Now, I've basically just stored these the private key right here. So you can see the prime 256v1 PEM file, so the elliptic curve and the CSR generated, they're now still in the application. Now, essentially, we could do all the signing offline, like I say in MetaMask, but I'm just showing, you know, what the files that I'm using to do the signing. So here we've signed this function. So there's not a lot of information here, sorry, because this is a sort of clumsy demo that I put together before I started working on the more full one. But basically what we're succeeding in doing here is running, running this init ledger function. So now let me just do something clumsy. If I close this and I rerun the app, but now I'll do a get all assets. I'll call the get all assets original function. You'll see that we've initialized the ledger using this offline signature. So let me go back to the. Oops. So let's close the app. Yeah. So you can see it's initialized the ledger with all these assets from the original basic transfer app using an offline signature. Now, what I tried to do was implement this same these new functions that I created, the this offline sign. So basically what it's doing is it's creating a new endorsement with some transaction parameters, sending the proposal, getting the proposal back, the signed proposal back from the peers, committing it to the channels again, signing it again, signing the commit again, sending it to the sorry, I forgot the name of the agent in Fabric, the orders to commit the transaction. So and there's this sign object function here that's basically using the elliptical curve signature. Essentially, this could be some signature from any third-party app like MetaMask that's signing these requests, the endorsement and the commit. So I tried to implement this with the REST API for the utility emissions network, but I faced some issues when passing the endorsement request, and it kept telling me that it was a rejection. If I have the error, I think I have the error here. I can show you quickly. Yeah, I was getting an error like this. So send proposal, received error response from the peer, validating proposal, access denied. So this is a very general error, and I really wasn't able to figure out where the issue is, but there seems to be some conflict between the proposal that I've signed and the authorization of the peer required by the peers within the network. So I'm still trying to figure out what the issue is there. So I could get this working within the utility emissions channel network, and then start looking at, using MetaMask to do the actual signing.
Okay. Okay. So
sorry. This. Yeah.
No. This is fine. You're in between stuff, and we're just checking in. So just to clarify, this is what you're showing. The code that you're showing is equivalent of the asset transfer basic / application. Like you're showing us some equivalent of this, right?
I'm showing some equivalent.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
You're showing us a substitute. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is can we go back to your code? I just want to compare it to what the original code is. Okay, so you added this offline sign, right?
Yeah, so the original code is doing this. So if we were to say, go back to the, so I've commented this out. What was it? Sorry.
Yeah, so there's I see like submit transaction init ledger.
Yes, here, this init ledger. Yeah, so there's this transaction, which is, I think I'd have to look, but yeah, essentially it's doing something similar.
Yeah, submit transaction. Okay, so I'm looking at it, and then above this is get contract. Sorry.
Submit contract. Submit transaction. Yeah. So this is. Yeah. So this is essentially, I think it's something that's built into the Fabric, no modules for Fabric.
Right.
That does something very similar to this offline sign. So this transaction I'm using, but it's taking the private keys generated by the Fabric CA, as opposed to using the ones that I've generated and doing the signing, using the the algorithm that I've selected for my private key. In this case, the 92561.
Okay, okay, can you just so go back up a little bit from the init ledger? I just want to see kind of what it looks like.
What's
so
on there? Yes.
You have init ledger, and then what's the thing that executes above it? Above it, you have offline signing.
These were some other this was some other offline signing where I was testing for some of the other function calls.
So if you go back up a little bit, please.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because okay, so you get contract network dot get contract gateway get network, and then gateway connect CCP wallet identity. It's all the same, but I guess so.
This is directly from the original test.
Yeah. So all of this is the same. So the offline signing is just an additional step, right? So how are you telling Fabric to sign offline instead of normally how it does it? Is it just all in the offline sign?
I also have a related question.
Yeah. Go ahead,
so
David.
any user has to be part of the member service, right? So that orders can authenticate, right? So how does this custom certificate adds the user to the membership service?
Here in this enrollment stage, right? So normally you enroll a new user with say some secret, right? For the user ID. Here I've passed in, there's this option here. So if you look at the tutorial, this is what it tells you, right? If you want to enroll your own certificate, you just pass in this extra option, this this CSR key algorithm, right? So you pass in your own CSR. So normally in the when you, if I can show this to you.
So normally the submit transaction function will handle all these things internally. Like
it'll generate, it generates its own. Now I think what's happening here is there's a gateway and we're saving this wallet, right, with this X509 identity, right? Normally what's happening is it's generating its own. So you see here, it'll usually pass in this private key from the original enrollment, but when you're messing in this CSR. So normally it'll do it like this, and it'll take the key the self-generated key. The only difference here is I passed in my own CR. Now I'm still creating the X509 identity. It's in reality, you don't need this anymore, right? Because you have an offline identity, you don't need to be saving this wallet within the Fabric, the REST API for Fabric, right? You could, but I'm still trying to figure out exactly how it works. I'm still learning a bit of the whole, how you code the transaction.
And how CAs knows about guaranteed, like root CA or any intermediate CA? How does they get to know about this custom certificates?
Well, because it's the root CA, this CA client is the root CA that's rolling this this CSR.
Oh, it's CA client is from Fabric CA module itself?
Yes.
Oh,
yes, sorry. I know there's a lot of stuff here, but yeah, we're passing the CA client. So if we go back to the app and you have this enroll user.
Oh.
Sorry, there's a lot of, it's kind of stack heavy. The CA client, yeah. So this is a Fabric service.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all. So it's pretty simple, and I seem to have it working for this really simple use case. But the minute I get into more complex networks like the utility emissions network, I'm having some issues with recognizing these self-assigned certificates.
There you might be facing a policy restriction, because when I was working with so the user basically needs to have any, right? It needs to policy before it can be successfully submitted.
Yes.
So
I need to review these policies to understand what's necessary to get these self-assigned certificates through the endorsement process.
Okay.
I guess. I'm still learning. This has kind of been a crash course for me, but baby steps.
Sure. Okay. This is, looks like you have made progress. So that's good. Okay. So the next step is the self-signed policy step. And then do you think you'll remove this X509 in the CA utils?
I mean, that will be I think that's the idea. But I'm still really understanding how the gateway works. Because essentially what it's doing is it's saving this wallet. And then when you call the gateway here, right, it requires the wallet to open the gateway. And right now I need the gateway to connect to the network. I want to do it without. So essentially, I guess I would replace this wallet with some external wallet like MetaMask. That's what I'm thinking, but I'm still not sure exactly how it fits together.
Right.
It's right now it's building this right. It's building this wallet. This is the part that I need to look at this week, that I plan on looking at this week.
Great. Okay.
So essentially, I won't need this X519 identity, because I'll be passing in a wallet directly from an external provider like Metamask.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it looks like you've made some progress, so keep going at it. That's great.
Yeah, it's a little clumsy right now, but it's really just pulling out the wires for how this works in default.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So thank you for sharing that. And then Pranamika, do you want to? Do you have any?
Thank you, Bernard.
Yeah. Thanks, Bertrand. That's good.
Yes.
Were you able to fix any of those issues, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here is this running the API server, as I said, and I done the test for you already, as you can see, but all the tests are passing. Instead, the same discovery service error. I tried the method that Preetham told to include the code inside the host file, but that value didn't work. I don't know why. I'm not sure.
Okay. So yeah, I was wondering about those tests.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that the test should work. So let me take a look at this, and I will go ahead and commit everything, and I'll take a look at it. But I was wondering about the test myself, and we'll chat more about it.
Yeah, sure. So everything works inside as excluding this actually. Fail to submit transaction in this should record an emission as test user. That wallet that Bertrand was talking about right now, and I just tried to test the usual behavior as mentioned in the API code, that if this transaction fails, it should give us the 409 status with this info in the response body as mentioned here.
Okay.
As you can see. So I was trying to just replicate this inside the test so it passes. But it actually don't submit any transaction, as you can see here.
Just one thing. So you have this body.info that includes, right? That means you're assuming your info will be in array form, right? But I think that is where you're missing it out. Your info may not be always an array. So you can, check it if it's coming in as an array or not.
Okay. As I checked here, but when I actually was running inside the Docker container, I checked it was inside array, but usually when I run this outside API container, I get this error discovery service that is not able to, run that API request successfully.
So, Pranika, this discovery service regarding maybe what is the current is a flag because when we are running in a common network, then we should set as a true.
Okay.
So
yeah. Actually, it's having true inside it. And I tried disable it also by putting false to it. I mean, the false value to it, but it didn't work out that way. Yeah, here.
Yeah, right.
I tried giving the false value, but it didn't work that way. And I tried removing this whole thing also, but it didn't work that way.
Okay. Kamlesh, do you have some time to test what she's done? Just to see if you can replicate the same problems? Or Vatsal, I don't know, any of you guys want to try it?
I with Pranika.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And regarding the test cases, so are we going to do the testing for the test API, or are we planning
Yeah, I wrote out some more test cases, and actually looking at the code, I want to add one more as well, which is using the correct units.
Actually,
Sorry.
your voice was actually quite breaking. It's okay now? Please can you repeat what
Okay,
you said?
actually I was saying, so are we just going to test the REST APIs, or are we planning to do the smart contract testing without the chain code? Because in the generally this is the standard practice, kind of there's a mock stub kind of module available in the chain code, which we can use to kind of do the mock testing of the smart contract, even deploying it to the network. So
Yes, yes. Hello?
Yeah, I think part of it we'll have to test inside the chain code, because I think this test that I put down to verify that the test ID, that the ID code is stored in chain, is encrypted and not stored in a raw format. I think that would require testing inside the chain code.
Yeah, so that thing we should do, but we should also do the smart contract testing without deploying, because this is the kind of, and that's why Fabric team provided that mock stub kind of, which we can use to test the smart contract even before deploying it.
Okay. Okay. So if that's the case, then let's definitely do that.
Yeah. So
okay.
Currently what we are doing for doing the REST API testing, that is fine. But the next level we should do the smart contract testing without deployment, even what we are writing in the functions and the some parameters.
Okay. Do you have a reference on how to do that? I think that's probably a good idea.
I have reference. I will share it. Maybe I can create one task in the repo.
Please.
Actually, when I was rewriting the node, when I was converting the chain code to node to TypeScript, I had put one or two test chain code tests using chain code stuff. That might be there.
Yeah, correct. So one thing. So Pritam, are you converting that Go to the TypeScript chain code, or we gonna use the Go chain code only?
Yeah, I've already converted that to TypeScript.
Yes.
So as a performance wise, which is better, because I believe
actually Go is better for testing, because when I was testing this with Node Fabric Node shim package, it had a limited functionality. So I think Go had completely implemented all the
right.
stuffs.
That's right. Okay, so you converting that Go chain code to the new, I think it's already the new contract context API in the chain code.
Yeah.
So reason to convert it to TypeScript, I didn't get that one.
Before joining the mentorship, I already completed that. I have converted the node to TypeScript. So currently we are using a TypeScript chain code.
Okay.
So, okay, yeah, we'll look at the testing some more, I guess, and then Kamlesh, if you could try it out and see if you see what problems she might be having. But otherwise, I guess I'll speak to Pritam on Friday again, and Bertrand will connect again next week and see how you're doing before the next call. So I guess that's it for me. If anybody else has anything they want to talk about.
Hi, Sai. Still here again. I just had, some idea which, I've been trying to discuss with you or share with you for a couple of calls back as well. can we think of putting this entire network in the hands of common user, maybe via some sort of a simple app, right? Let's say iOS app or Android app, right? But how this entire stack, which is there, right? How it can be simply to make it accessible, like for example, a very simple login interface, probably, yeah, implementation with MetaMask for the wallet, add some emissions, like, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, okay. So everybody can upload their utility data or some kind of emission data and then have it calculated on the ledger.
Yeah, and we were thinking, some sort of a transaction on this, that somebody can, sell off their emissions to anybody, if you, because you already have that, you're working on this Ethereum tokens, right? And so you have sort of covered both the ends of it, right? People are, ready to buy on these Ethereum tokens, right? Which are basically the converted form of these emissions, right? So is it possible to make it, at a commercial level, right, where a very normal consumer can utilize it in a form of an app or something?
Yes, I think, okay, we should do that. Let's think, so would you want to do utility emissions or some other kind of emissions, like driving or, something else we can get data for? Because utility requires...
Right now, whatever infrastructure we have, we are storing the utility emission, right? So let's start with that. Let's start with, but my main focus is, the front end, right? That a mobile application which will connect to all of this system. Like, can we think of an architecture around this? And that is why I'm interested in this client side security module, right? Which Bernard is working in, which I'm also part of mentor. That how we can simplify this, access for a normal user.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, okay, I think if you're going to do that, I wonder if you would actually need to have, do we want to support both client app, client sign in with like a key at the client, or do we want to support also password, like traditional sign in? Because most people are still familiar with that. I think we need to, like almost fake custody their Ethereum wallet. Or not fake custody, but give them a custody to Ethereum wallet to sign.
See, what we can use is sort of an abstraction layer where user knows their username and password, but behind the scene, we're actually creating a security private key for them, right? Maybe through MetaMask API or maybe through Trust ID, right? Basically, user knows. Okay, for example, your MetaMask, right, or any wallet, you have your private key, which fine, right? But you actually have a password, right, to secure that private key, right? If you lose access to the password, you lose your private key, right? So we can abstract that private key from the user, but yeah, for the advanced user, maybe we can allow them to, okay, you can dig in and get your private key and whatnot, right? But if we think of it as a backbone, for the entire infrastructure as a backbone for a layman layman user to use, to sort of control themselves towards this missions, net, carbon neutrality and things like that, right? That's what I was thinking.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. Maybe during next Tuesday's meeting too. Are you available? Maybe we can think about like what a mobile app version of this would do, and get plan it out, like what the key features are. I think that was a great thing to work on.
Okay, sure. I'm available on Tuesdays. That's not an issue.
Okay, great. Yeah, I don't think we have like a speaker or anything planned, so we could use that time for this.
Sure, sounds good.
Okay, good then. So we'll see everybody Tuesday or before then to go over the different projects. So yeah, thanks for all the progress so far. It's great to see this being done. So
Thank you.
yeah, thanks everybody. Talk to you later.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Bye-bye.